Welcome to the Atomic Deceit. As the Manhattan Project unfolds in secrecy, Agent John Hartley is drawn into a whirlwind of espionage and betrayal. Behind each corner lies a secret, and trust becomes a luxury. Brace yourself, and let's the story begin. In the cold, gray heart of the FBI headquarters, Agent John Hartley sat stiffly in front of his superior's desk. The words Manhattan Project hung heavily in the air, tinging the room's silence with an acute sense of urgency. An anonymous tip, a potential mole, a betrayal of the highest order. The case was unlike any Hartley had dealt with before. His superior's eyes bore into him with a look that Hartley knew all too well. It was the look of trust. Trust in his abilities to uncover the truth in a sea of half-truths and lies. "John," his superior began, his voice as stern as his gaze. "This is of the utmost national importance. We suspect there's a leak in the Manhattan Project. This cannot go on. The secrets of the atomic bomb cannot fall into the wrong hands." Hartley nodded, his jawline tightening. He felt the weight of his new assignment settling on his shoulders. The future of their nation, the balance of power in the world, everything could hinge on this case. The Manhattan Project, the most secretive endeavor of the century, and he was about to dive headfirst into its heart. "Understood, sir. I'll get on it right away," Hartley assured, rising from his chair. His mind buzzed with the impending mission. The anxiety, however, didn't cripple him. Instead, it fueled his resolve. As he left his superior's office, the gravity of his new assignment forged a renewed sense of duty within him. The secrets of the Manhattan Project had to be protected, and he was just the man for the job. The drive to the undisclosed location of the Manhattan Project felt longer than any journey Hartley had ever undertaken. As the landscapes whizzed by, he went over the briefing in his mind, imagining what lay ahead. He arrived under the cover of night, greeted by the sprawling, hidden facility. Its stark, utilitarian buildings barely visible under the dim moonlight. Hartley was introduced to the project scientists the following morning, a congregation of some of the brightest minds in the world. They stood before him, their faces a mix of curiosity and apprehension. They didn't know him, and he didn't know them. Yet he was to live among them, work with them, and most importantly, observe them. As days slipped into weeks, Hartley quietly studied the scientists. He watched their routines, interactions, and idiosyncrasies, always careful to keep a safe distance. One figure, however, increasingly commanded his attention. Dr. Oliver Maxwell, a respected physicist with a demeanor that was as aloof as it was intriguing. There was a mystery about Maxwell that Hartley couldn't shake off. His gaze often lingered a second longer, his instincts hinting at secrets buried beneath the surface. Hartley understood that this was just the beginning. As he adjusted to the rhythm of the facility, his focus honed in on Maxwell. The air grew thick with quiet anticipation, with every day pulling Hartley deeper into the complex world of the Manhattan Project and closer to the secrets that Dr. Oliver Maxwell might be hiding. The game was afoot, and Hartley was ready to play. Days turned into weeks as Hartley delved deeper into the investigation. Maxwell, a man of habit, was hard to read, but the seasoned agent knew better than to rush his instincts. He watched the physicist from the shadows, studied him, taking note of even the most mundane details. Maxwell's aloof demeanor, the way his eyes darted around nervously when he thought he was unobserved, the hushed conversations he frequently held with strangers, all of it began to add up. The climate at the Manhattan Project facility grew tenser with each passing day. Hartley could sense the unease, the tightening coils of suspicion and fear. He knew that he was running out of time. Unbeknownst to him, Maxwell had also been watching him. The scientist had grown suspicious of the FBI agent's unwavering attention and had started taking measures to shake him off. Maxwell hurried his secret dealings, planning to pass on crucial information to a Soviet agent sooner than he had initially planned. The stakes were raised as the game of cat and mouse intensified. Maxwell's attempts to cover his tracks only made Hartley more determined. As the physicist weaved a web of deception, Hartley remained steadfast, relentlessly pursuing the truth. The agent knew that he was getting closer to exposing Maxwell, and the suspense hung in the air like a storm waiting to break. The climax of the chase came under a moonless night. Hartley, tipped off by an intercepted message, knew that a secret rendezvous was to take place. The place was an isolated corner of the facility, far removed from prying eyes. Hartley moved through the darkness, the cool night air humming with tension. He spotted Maxwell, his figure barely discernible in the shadows, meeting with a figure Hartley recognized from his files as a known Soviet agent. As they exchanged a package, Hartley sprang into action, rushing towards them. A confrontation ensued. Maxwell, shocked and cornered, tried to flee, but Hartley was quicker. A struggle broke out, but the FBI agent, backed by years of training, managed to overpower the physicist. As Hartley handcuffed Maxwell, the scientist's mask of composure finally crumbled, revealing a desperate man caught in the act of betrayal. The secrets of the atomic bomb, now secure in Hartley's hands, were safe once more. Back at the facility, the shock of Maxwell's apprehension rippled through the scientific community. The physicist's treachery had been stopped in its tracks. The clandestine leak of vital secrets prevented just in time. The climax of the hunt was over, and Hartley emerged the victor. His sense of duty and relentless pursuit of the truth had prevailed. The dawn of the next day brought the curtain down on the high-stakes drama. The secret facility, now buzzing with whispers of the previous night's events, was a hive of activity. Amid the chaos, Hartley stood firm, the apprehended Maxwell beside him, a picture of failed treachery. Back at FBI headquarters, news of Hartley's successful mission was met with relief and commendation. His superiors praised his keen investigative skills and lauded his dedication to duty. Hartley, for his part, remained modest, aware that he had not only averted a potential disaster, but also exposed a significant threat within their ranks. Meanwhile, Maxwell, once a respected scientist, was now a disgraced spy. His dreams of retaliation against what he perceived as governmental negligence shattered. He was led away in cuffs, a stark warning to those who dared betray their country. As the dust settled, the full extent of the danger they had been under was acknowledged. Hartley, hailed as a hero, knew the importance of the work that lay ahead. The Manhattan Project could now continue unimpeded, its secrets safe, and its mission clearer than ever. The atomic age was upon them, and men like Hartley stood as the guardians of this new era, protecting their country from shadows and secrets.